everybody over 30 to go to the back, so like the younger people could hear better. Like this. Thank you. And any of you young children would like to come up and gather around. Yes. You young children. I'm not very good at speaking or memorizing, so I'll just kind of do this. Failure is human because it is striving to be God, to be perfection, to create perfection, and not succeeding. That is why it is human. Romans 3:23. And for Advent, I made a number of projects to show you what's inside my mind. I tried five projects to show you everything that goes on in my mind of Advent and being human. And I failed. And these are my failed projects. First of all, I wanted to show you that being human meant to create and destroy. To destroy, I've dressed up as war. That is how humans destroy. Creation, I meant to make 1,000 paper cranes, but I only had the patience to do 4. Okay, does anybody here wrestle? Yeah? Well, everyone gets all these diseases from wrestling, like I have a friend with like syphilis in his armpit and like herpes all over their face and everything. And the other day, I found this like sore on my face, kind of like staph on my face now. So I think I have to chop on my face if it doesn't go away. And I was going to show you that we think we're better than these beasts. I was going to put 2 beta fish together. I was going to show you we're better than these beasts, that we think we're better, but we're not. In fact, we fight over things that are 10 times more frivolous. At least they fight over the girl. But I can't really offend anybody by putting 2 beta fish and having them kill each other in front of you guys. Just aside for fighting in there. I'm going to write a song for you guys and perform it with my guitar. So that's how that failed. And I was going to make a video to show how all of you are wasting your lives on TV and the video that you would be watching if I had made the video. But I didn't make the video. It was going to be a baby sitting in an armchair watching TV. And then the camera would like go in a circle. And as it goes in a circle, the baby like changes into a toddler, and then to a child, and then to an adult, and then to an old guy, and then a skeleton, and then the baby's next to a skeleton, and like it just keeps on going. And then like why? It like says why, but I wasn't able to do that because that's like $1 million budget thing. So, and that's not really an original message anyway. Okay, and lastly, I was going to go to Brookside, one of the most liberal neighborhoods in Kansas City, to encourage segregation, because the people on the east side of Prospect live there because they're black, and the people on the white side live on the west because they're white. But I didn't have the balls to do so, so I tried to show how ridiculous this is by making all the old people go to the back. Nobody really moved to the back. So. I went on a missions trip to Mexico last year, and it was life-changing. It was amazing. And on the way back, I stole a DVD, and I got caught. And I exposed myself to a lot of people, parts of me I didn't want exposed. And that is another example of how to fail. I wanted to have perfect communication between me and you, what goes inside my mind, and show you everything that's inside my mind. But that, of course, was not possible. So that's how I failed at this presentation. I'm a human. Thank you. Awkwardness, that you guys not knowing how to respond, just like not being a very good presentation, was my presentation. The failing of the presentation was my presentation, not showing you my failed stuff. Are there any questions?
How did you come up with this?
I believe we were talking one day, and we were talking about how I had spent so many hours just like sitting in the shower and like sitting on my bed and trying to go to sleep, thinking about what am I going to do to show everybody everything that's in my mind and be spectacular. And then somebody said, why don't you show all the things that you failed to do and why failing is human. So that's what I did.
Andrew, failing is human, and is human synonymous with okay and accepting? And
human is what we are, or what we strive not to be. We strive to be, we strive to be more like Jesus, which is away from being human, but realizing that it's inevitable that we are human. So we are going to fail, but striving to not fail.
So you think we spend a lot of our energy trying to keep ourselves from failing?
And we fail at that.
And
so we eventually fail.
Thank you.
Where'd you get the gas mask?
My dad took his lunch break to buy it for me because I've always wanted one.
It's a good use of a lunch break. Yes. Can you speak through it?
Yeah.
It's a pretty.
Do you really
Everyone
think,
wants my intestines.
do you think people over 30 are old? Because I'm 27 and that's pretty
They're closer to old than young though, right?
Any other questions?
Hey, Andrew, I want to
Staff
about this, just the idea of being human, and I think my question is around, you acknowledge that there's this sense of awkwardness in terms of what we were receiving as you were talking about that, and you actually expressed some really honest things in that. How difficult was that for you?
Very difficult. I expose almost everything I don't want people to see about me. And there, no way. I told you about him. You didn't see the shame and such. Know about it. I don't want people to know I have a fleshing bacteria on my face. I don't want people to know I go on a missions trip and then to these desolated people and then steal. I don't want people to know that.
So just a follow-up then, on the other side of it now, having just kind of done this and still somehow engaging and interacting with us as a community, how are you feeling now, just in terms of, what are your steps after this? You've just exposed yourself, you said it's difficult. What are next steps, do you think?
I think I'll just go back to normal. I don't see any change.
Thanks.
What's your understanding of failure though now?
I think it's the same from when I began at the end of my projects, because I began on this project at the end of all my projects, that failure, striving for perfection, striving to be God, to show everything, and not succeeding. I wanted to show everything that goes on in my mind, all those thoughts, all the input, and like, I have so much input and almost zero output, and I was wanting to put 100% output. That's not possible. So I came the closest I could by showing you no output.
How does that relate to how we, understand Jesus as human, or how we are able to relate to him, in all of our feelings? Or I don't know, does it say anything about grace to you? Did it say anything about Jesus sharing in trials, or did you think about that part of it?
As far as grace, I don't expect to be alienated now by you guys. That's probably grace. But as far as Jesus, I think it brings us closer to Jesus, and knowing that if we strive for perfection, we're going to fail, and accept that, but still strive for perfection.